but really it translates into English as easy feet. So a nice place to start. Sometimes it can be a little uncomfortable for some, and that's why I like to grab a block or a pillow or something that you can sit up to elevate your hips just a little bit more. And then maybe if it feels like way too much to have your ankles crossed, you can consider taking your knees a little wider and bringing one ankle in front of the other rather than one shin in front of the other. Every body is different. And then you can let your hands rest on your knees, sit up nice and tall, or as tall as you can. Shrug the shoulders as you breathe in up towards your ears and roll them back and down. And do that 2 more times with your breath. So inhale, creating tension, and then exhale to create space. Last one, breathe in. Breathe out and just close your eyes or let your eyelids become a little heavier. So you can just soften any distractions that might be around you or things that might pull your direction or your mind away. And of course, as we often mention in our little conversations before we get on our mat, which I think is honestly part of yoga, it's not just physical asana or shapes. It's not just breathing. It's also like taking what you learn on a yoga mat and like applying it to your life, whether that's in connections with others or like deepening an understanding of yourself. It's not about having 60 minutes of time every single day. And it's not about looking perfect. It can be so much about how we just take these little tidbits of knowledge and apply it to maybe how we feel, how we communicate, how we connect with others, and again, how we connect with ourselves. So maybe you do that right here by closing the eyes down and just noticing your breath. Or maybe on a barometer of what your center feels like 0 feeling off center, maybe slow, lethargic, not your best. And then 10 being like off the charts of like anxious, energy that like bubbles over and maybe turns into anger. Five being like content, even keeled, or what you perceive or you know rather than what your center is. Maybe on that scale of 0 to 10, you just name where you are and be okay with it rather than attaching this deep meaning to it or judgment for where you're at. So if you're at a 1, let yourself be at a 1. If you're at an 11, that's okay too. I just want you to take notice of it and just like name it as it is, where you are right here, right now. And take a deep breath in, sit up a little bit taller. And maybe open up your mouth, let out an audible exhale, maybe a little sigh. Maybe you feel a little tension leave your body as you do so. Do that 2 more times. Deep breath in, expand. Long breath out to release. One more, filling all the way up. Emptying all the way out. And then keeping your hands on your knees, you might want to switch what foot or ankle is in front, just to keep things a little even. Take a breath in to tip your heart forward and roll your shoulders back in space, and maybe even lift your chin. It might feel good to open through the throat, through the chest. And then take your exhale to round your shoulders forward, drop your chin to your chest, and round your upper back and lean back slightly. Maybe keep your hands on your knees. Feel the back of your body lengthen. I want you to do that one more time. Inhale tips you forward, creating space through the front. And then exhaling to round and create space through the back. And then coming back to neutral here, I want you to reach your hands up towards the sky, take a deep breath in. And you're just going to lean over to the right side. So drop your right hand down to the ground. Root that down as you start to lean over a little bit further and reach through your left fingertip a little bit more. And then you'll rise back up with both hands. And then you just tip over to the left. Root your left hand down, but reach through your right fingertips. Like you're reaching away from your left hip. And then you'll rise back up, reach both hands high. And then this time I want you to twist over to the right. So your left hand will come to your right knee. And your right hand can just like drape behind you. It doesn't have to be in any particular place. Take a breath in to sit up taller. And just a breath out to deepen. Maybe look over your right shoulder if that feels good. And then you'll rise back up through center, reach your hands high. You can even look forward or open the eyes if you wish. And then you'll twist over to the left, opposite side. Take a breath in to sit up tall. And then a breath out to deepen. Maybe look over your left shoulder. Keeping it nice and easy, creating a little more space. Reach your hands high as you inhale. And then slowly start to take your hands down. Start to unravel the legs and remove the block from underneath your seat. I mean, just take your feet out in front of you. Your legs can lengthen. Maybe you start to roll the ankles, wiggle the toes. If you feel sensation there, just embrace it. Don't name it as good or bad. Also a powerful tool to have in your arsenal. And then you'll start to just cross your ankles, your shins, and meet me in tabletop pose. We're going to incorporate those 6 movements of the spine, just in a different plane, right? So now we have the spine nice and parallel to the ground in tabletop. Think of that as neutral. Now take a breath in to lift your heart. Find what we call cow pose as you breathe in. Maybe lift the chin. And then exhale, press the ground away and round your upper back and drop your head. Do that one more time. Take a breath in to expand through the front. And a breath out, press down and round through your back and drop your head. Expand through the back. And then you'll come back to neutral. Start to slowly send your left ribs over to the left, like you were creating the letter C with your spine here. Maybe bring your right ear towards your right shoulder. So here's your lateral movement, your side to side. And then you'll come back to neutral. And then the other side, right ribs over towards the right, left ear, left hip, over to the left. Stay here and breathe. Full breath in. Big breath out. And then you'll slowly come back to center. We're going to twist the spine just in a different way. This time I want you to reach your left hand up, take a big breath in. And now as you exhale, I want you to thread the needle. You're going to send your left hand over towards the right, just in between your arm and your knee. But don't land on the ground. I just want you to reach. So this is your twist. Do that one more time. Inhale, reach back up, take a huge inhale. And then exhale to twist over towards the right, reach through your left fingertip. And then slowly come back to tabletop. Now it's the right hand that rises. Big breath in. And then exhale, you get to thread it over to the left. Feel the spine twist in the middle. One more. Take a breath in, open up. And then exhale, you twist. Nice. And then set your right hand back down. So nice. Now tuck your toes, float your knees. Hips back and up, downward facing dog. And it doesn't have to be this strenuous down dog. I want you to keep your knees nice and bent. We're not here long. Take one big breath in. And a big breath out to empty. Now just walk your hands back towards your feet. You'll land at the back of your mat. Bend the knees a little bit more to feel the low back lengthen. Now take your inhale here and find a flat back. Hands can come to your shin. And then bring your hands to your hips. Press down through your feet. Stand all the way up. Nice and slow. Take your arms down along your sides. Palms forward. Shrug the shoulders as you inhale. Open the mouth as you empty. And then starting to find those now same movements, but standing. I want you to bring your hands to your hips. Take a breath in, start to lift your heart. Now this time your elbows go back as you lift your chin. So it's a little bit of a back bend. And now as you exhale, I want you to bend your knees, sit into chair, round your upper back, and maybe send your elbows forward as you drop chin towards your chest. Stand all the way up. Do that one more time. Inhale, lift the chest, elbows back, lift the chin. And then exhale, bend the knees, maybe shoulders, elbows forward, drop chin to chest. And now you'll stand all the way up, sweep the arms out and up, reach up. And then take right hand to your left wrist, lean over to the right. So deepen that stretch all the way down to your left foot. And then come back up, switch hands, left hand to your right wrist, lean over to the left, press down to your right foot. And then you'll come back through center. Now take a breath in, stand up really tall. Now you find a twist here. Left hand will go forward, right hand goes back. Maybe start to bend your knees in a chair. Now rise back up, stand up, reach up. Right hand forward, left hand back, bend the knees, twist to the left. Do that one more time, inhale, rise up. Twist to the right, bend the knees, left hand forward, right hand back. Now you'll rise up. Twist to the left, one last time. Now rise up as you inhale. This time I want you to look up to your fingertips. Bend your knees a lot, but fold yourself forward. Fold in half. Take your halfway lift. Big breath in to lengthen. Walk the hands back to that downward facing dog, but soften through the knees. Take an inhale to rise up to your toes. Drop back down, tabletop pose, right into cow, lift the heart, breathe in. Exhale, round into cat. Take your knees nice and wide and maybe bring your big toes together. I want you to sit back towards your feet. Inch your hands forward. Maybe drop to your forearms. Maybe start to take your hands one on top of the other and find child's pose with your forehead stacking right on top of your hands. I want you to close your eyes. And then maybe come back to that barometer or scale and just notice maybe what number you are at after moving, after breathing, after softening maybe that pull of distraction. Take one more full inhale. Bigger exhale. I want you to just slowly rise up. You'll come to a seat, so swing your legs around in front of you. If you want, give them one last shake here. And then nice and easy here, make sure you have enough space behind you. I want you to take your feet a little bit further forward and your legs stay nice and long. We call this Dandasana, staff pose. You'll just place your hands down and reach through the crown of your head. So you're sitting up nice and tall. This is now your neutral. So you're on a seat, right? Take a breath in, maybe lift the chest up, maybe lift the chin. Now, as you exhale, I want you to take your hands forward, round your upper back and lean back just like you did when you were seated, one shin in front of the other. But this time, I want you to slowly think of one vertebra at a time, if you can, if that feels okay. I want you to slowly lower all the way down to the ground. Now reach your arms up and overhead. Find a long body stretch. Take your right hand to your left wrist. And just a little bit of an assist here. Maybe lean over to the right, or you think about inching your left toes a little further forward. And then reach your left fingertips away from there. And then switch to the other side. Left hand to your right wrist. Point your right toes forward. Reach through your right fingertips away from there. And then take your arms down along your sides. Just for a moment, I want you to bend your knees. And then take your arms like goalposts. Keep your back on the ground. I want you to just take this breath in. Now, as you exhale, a little twist. Both knees over to the right. It's your last twist here. Now, inhale, come back through center. Both knees over to the left. And then knees back through center. And we need to hug them towards your chest, or maybe even take your knees a little wide if that feels good. Take one big breath in like you were hugging everything in here. And then as you exhale, let your legs go back long to the ground, your arms down along your sides, and flip your palms up. Take a big breath in to fill up and expand through the front. Open your mouth like you did before. Use your exhale to release, to soften. One more like that. Big breath in, expand. Mouth open. Sigh it out. And then let your eyes get heavy, close. If that feels good. And then just relax your toes. Relax your legs. Relax your hips. Relax your belly. Soften the front of your chest and even your shoulder blades and your shoulders. Relax your upper arms, your elbows, and all the way down to your palms. And the tips of your fingers, let that relax. Relax the back of your neck. Soften the jaw. Soften the eyes and even the space in between your eyebrows. Soften the forehead. And even think about the top of your head, your scalp softening or relaxing. See if your whole body can stay still and relax. I want you to just notice if your mind wanders away from any sensation in the body. And again, without any of that judgment or meaning attached to it, just gently invite it back. Maybe you find that breath in and ease on your exhale. And that might happen once, it might happen over and over and over again, and that is okay. Just take your next 3 breaths here to sink in towards the ground, but in your own time, when you feel ready, slowly, with intention, starting to find a little movement in the finger and in the toes. Maybe in the wrists. And the ankles. Maybe you even rock your head side to side. And give yourself these next few moments just to bend your knees. Nice and slow, you'll roll to the side of your choice. Keep your eyes closed if you can. And then you'll press yourself up and find an easy seat again. You don't even have to worry about that block or that pillow. Just sit up nice and tall, just as you are. Keep your eyes closed as you sit up a little taller. Take a big breath in. Again, maybe open your mouth, find that sigh as you exhale. And knowing that you don't, like I said, have to have this long amount of time just to check in. And maybe just to invite in a little change. It can be a short amount of time, even shorter than the time we spent today. So come back to that scale or that barometer, and maybe you're closer towards that 5. Whether you feel a little bit more energized, embodied, or even just a little bit calmer. And just take a big breath in, just to acknowledge the work you put in, no matter what it looked like. And a deep breath out to find that sense of gratitude. And bring your hands together in front of your heart just for a moment. And then lift your thumbs to the center of your forehead. Maybe even lift your chin a little higher. And to seal our time together today, just a reminder to be kind to yourself, no matter where you are on that scale of 0 to 10. But then don't forget to share your own kindness in your own way with those around you. Namaste.